about there we go. All right, so
The funny thing is, it really wouldn't be much of a political conversation because I think you and I are pretty much in agreement on most of it.
yeah, I really do. I think we're right about the same.
Enough so that I don't think there's ever a point to have the conversation.
Probably not. Hey, we got some people walking up, so we're probably not gonna be able to do the show.
Well, you can start.
Well, I'll go ahead and do the show. I'll go ahead and start. You guys are listening to episode 5.5 of Chronicle365. We are broadcasting, and the reason why there is no actual video is because I came down here to the clubhouse to that you guys know that I've referenced for the past like 2 or 3 different episodes on Chronicle365, but we're having internet issues here, so we decided to go a little bit low-key. It's me and Eric Parker, and he's actually giving the tour to someone here at the clubhouse while we are trying to do a little bit of a just an audio version of the podcast. We'll be back on Google Hangout tomorrow night, which is Saturday night. This is January 4th day of the broadcast. And I'm making sure that it is going to get out there. But again, Eric is giving a little bit of a tour. And the thing is, being that we are doing this with just as a podcast, I can actually cut it down so that whenever I can pause it down, have them come on over, and then we'll get back up. It's called post, people. That's what you do. But anyway, yeah, I'm actually going to go ahead and welcome Eric back to the show right now. And welcome back, Eric.
Hey.
Yeah.
Are we officially on air now?
The wonders of editing, I just let everyone know that, hey, look, we're going to welcome Eric back to the show.
Hey.
Welcome back, Eric. And then
it's good to be
right
here.
There. Boom. Here, I'm going to put the laptop down for a second.
Yeah, I don't think the laptop is too necessary.
It's not really needed tonight.
Yeah.
Man,
Hopefully
your
camera's not on.
No, it's not.
Actually,
See,
I'm all about relaxation.
Why is my camera on? I don't care. It's on. Whatever.
So, Canada,
yes. I don't know why we're talking about Canada, but
you're rocking the Canada hoodie.
Yeah, man, this is an official licensed Olympics Canada sweater from the Winter Olympics. Yeah, man.
So, speaking of that, what's really cool about my in-laws, and it's so funny because I used to laugh about this every year, but I think I would be very disappointed if it didn't happen now. Every year for Christmas, they give me a different fleece for the U.S. Olympic team.
Nice.
Yeah.
Just because they.
Yeah, it's like the little zipper front things, and so it's like every year, like I've got a whole collection of Team USA.
It's like just
light jackets,
just because.
But it's starting to become a little bit of a signature thing now. It's like
it gets to the point to. I mean, like even.
Although I really wish I said Team America.
You're not going to finish the song, were you?
Heck yeah!
Yeah, heck yeah! That's the what would end up being on how it was in the '80s whenever they would do the overdubs for TV, because you don't really see big movies. I mean, then again, I don't have cable anymore, but you don't really see like the big movies, especially the R-rated movies on network anymore, like you used to see back in the day. I mean, I remember back when they said, and the network premiere of Lethal Weapon, and it was just like, oh my god,
are you serious?
And because we didn't have HBO back in the day, I mean that was for like the rich kids. And then I'll never forget when they had Die Hard come on. And I had saw Die Hard in the theater, so I was used to it. And we rented the VHS every once in a while.
What is a TV edit of Die Hard like?
Oh man, it's
they have to cut out some of the violence too, don't they?
Oh, tons. I mean, there was so many like cutaways that they would do. I mean, the movie would end up getting condensed down to like, they would still space out to 2 hours.
It's a 10-minute short,
pretty much. But the famous line, "Yippee-ki-yay," was changed to, and you always had like a guy that tried to do like a Bruce Willis voice, but always failed. So it was like, "Yippee-ki-yay, Mr. Falcon," like that. Or I remember also with Lethal Weapon. Mel Gibson.
We need to make a shirt that says "Yippee-ki-yay, Mr.
Falcon." I think there actually may be a few, but hey, you know what? Everyone does it, so why can't we? But there's also.
But what about "Yippee-ki-yay, Millennium Falcon"?
Dude, that would be okay. That I have not seen, but we might also get sued by Disney. But there was one for Lethal Weapon where I don't know why this one stuck with me, but Mel Gibson, he had some saucy language in that one as well. And he was all he constantly called people he's a funster. And I was like, really? That's the best you could come up with?
Funster?
A funster? Really?
Yeah.
And again, it was just, they had like the worst person doing the overdubs. They sounded nothing like
So do you
the actual
think
actors.
when we were growing up that movies for kids were more realistic about their interpretation of what a kid's life was than today?
What do you mean, like stuff like The Sandlot and things like that?
I mean, I guess, and I always go back to the example of the Goonies.
Yes,
but it's just like there was language there.
Yeah, there was,
and it was language
really
by kids. And it seems like now, if that happened, and maybe I'm just not as in tune, but like people would kind of flip out if a kid was saying that.
Well, I think part of the issue with that, though, is you also had people like directors like Spielberg that were doing these, and Zemeckis, and you had a lot of the they were like the big ones of their day. And now it's kind of watered down. You don't really see a kids movie that has that same type of sense of adventure.
Yeah.
The closest I think that they came to having something with that sense of adventure, and it was Super 8. And still,
true.
That was produced by Spielberg, but that was also watered down.
Yeah.
You didn't have... they tried to recapture...
Although, because no matter what anyone says to me, I'm going to consider it somewhat of a kid's movie. I mean, granted, like a young teen and a teenager movie, but The Hunger Games, like that was a pretty hardcore thing for kids.
Let me tell you, I had never read any of the books.
Yeah.
I had never seen any of the any of the stuff from there. And I didn't see the movie in the theater. Finally, it came out, and I was like, I'll check it out. And the scene, spoilers for people that have never seen it or haven't watched the movie.
If they haven't, it's just too late. Don't worry.
Yeah, the scene where they drop all after they do all the training.
Bruce
and
Willis
whatnot,
was dead the whole time.
The whole time, they drop them in the middle of the field, and they're like, "Go get your weapons." And they're like, okay, so they're going, and they're just looking at each other. And these are people that they've just trained with and were hanging out with or whatever. And it's just like all of a sudden, just hatchets, just straight up,
I'm going to kill you.
Straight brutality. And I was just like, oh my God.
Yeah, it kind of made Lord of the Flies seem really tame.
It really, really did, because they were going nuts on each other.
Yeah.
I mean, and, my question was, you had the group of kids that walked around as like the band of mean kids, if you will.
Right.
And what they, it's like, all right.
The popular clique.
Yeah. I was like, so they're walking around and they're the popular kids. We got some people at the door.
Okay.
We're going to pause for another second, and we'll get back into Hunger Games talk in a second. Quick side tangent.
Are we on air?
Because, we're back. This will cover. Again, total side tangent. I swear that was a part of Kiefer Sutherland's gang from Lost Boys. You never grow old.
I was actually thinking he had more of a Flatliners look.
Yes, dude. That's
wasn't that an awesome movie?
It really was, and there are talks of remakes.
No,
you can't remake Flatliners.
Well, no,
you can't. That's
because they'll never get a cast equal to that
ever. I mean, come on. You had Oliver Platt. You had Kiefer Sutherland, Christian Slater, right?
Julia Roberts.
And
how did they get that cast for that movie?
I don't know.
Were they just nobodies at that point and they got lucky?
Well, that was before Julia Roberts had like the elongated mouth.
That was the Pretty Woman.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Definitely. That was before she really took off and could pretty much just say, "Oh, you're going to pay me $20 million to do this movie."
Yeah.
Before there was just kind of like, "I need work."
So she made good movies.
Exactly, and I mean, you got, and that was pre everything Kiefer Sutherland. I mean, he was just kind of still riding my dad's Donald Sutherland coattails.
Which takes me back to the Hunger Games. So Donald Sutherland, to me, made that movie.
Oh, absolutely.
And the cool thing was, I actually watched The Extras because I do have kids that are like Hunger Games fanatics.
Oh, are they?
And yeah,
I can see that. Your kids, I can see that.
The whole his role in there, like all of his little speeches in the Rose Garden, he wrote those. He created they had shot the movie and he was like, this just doesn't seem like we're nailing what my character is, and he wrote this whole long letter to the director about roses and how this rose garden played into who his character was and what he was, and had this whole speech planned out.
I love it when directors will let their actors, kind of riff like that. Let them, go a little bit extra, go that extra mile. Instead of just feeding them lines and saying, "No, this is how you should do it." They're just like, just
because
to
me, like his role there, he really embodies the sense that, like, evil isn't necessarily evil. It's like he's the head of a system. And whereas we objectively look at that system from outside and we say, wow, that is brutally wrong, he looks at it and he's like, well, if we didn't have this, then we would devolve into utter chaos.
My question really, honestly, is in regards to the books and the movies, is what happened in our society to where we said, you know what, letting a bunch of kids kill each other, acceptable. What I mean? Like, where did we go from saying, no, killing's bad, to saying, let's go ahead and then let's televise it and watch it.
And then even the fact that, okay, yeah, we all sit here and we're like, oh, that's a fiction, but it's a wildly successful movie about kids killing each other.
It is. It really, really is. And
I think that alone says something about our society.
Our society feeds off of stuff like that, though, man.
We are Rome. When
the most popular show on TV right now is about zombies and the end of the world as we know it, and people just being savage with each other and zombies, that might say a little something. Forget that it's well scripted, well acted,
right?
Even though Carl never stays in the house and Lori is an inconsistent and terrible mother. It is a really well scripted, acted TV show, and it is good for entertainment, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But still, I agree with you. A lot of the things that we kind of feed off of as a society now, it's just like, well, never mind. Maybe in about the 70
I don't know.
years.
It's funny to me, and maybe it's because we're just coming off the wave of 2012 and the fact that the world was supposed to end and all this stuff. But it does feel like we're at this kind of like hinge point as a society, and maybe globally speaking, that we've come to accept a lot of corruption in how everything operates, and it's kind of. It baffles me. It honestly keeps me up some nights thinking about that. But at the same time, I'm just like, I just got to do my thing.
Well, it's funny. You're talking about corruption and how we've accepted a certain level of corruption. Before I got here, I posted something on Facebook. I had said my Christmas wish for 2013 is that Facebook implements an algorithm that, if there's a link or a image post that's talking about something that is going to be either politically or racial or whatever that's insensitive, that it automatically gets cross-referenced with Snopes. And if it's found to be a false article, that they get dinged in 5 false articles posted in a row, gets them their Facebook account disabled for 7 days.
No way that will happen.
Never, but I can dream. I posted that, and there were people saying,
have a dream.
Right? And there's people that are saying, my mother-in-law. She said, my mother-in-law says that there is not to trust Snopes because it's a liberal. It's liberal biased. And so I just really quick just did a search, because that's what I do before I believe anything. I always do a search just to see. And
if the internet say it, it must be true.
You would not believe how many. And it's funny because when you look at the sites that actually post saying that Snopes is a liberal bias machine, it's all of the sites look like there is a guy. I'm sorry for stereotyping, but there's some guy with grease stains on his shirt in a basement somewhere, kind of just hacking along. I don't talk like this when he's talking, when he wants to talk about conspiracies. And but seriously, it's the complete and total hack job on the sites, and all these different conspiracy theories out there, and talking about how, right now, the big scam, quote unquote, that's going on right now. People are saying that Obama's administration created the Sandy Hook killings, and they have crisis actors that are posing on TV saying that their kids died.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, like straight up crazy stuff. And like this one guy keeps posting this over and over again. And
Well,
like,
I'm gonna just go ahead and like immediately like derail us from the political thing.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, because like I see the hate comments coming in.
Well, see, I personally think that for the shows that we're going to be doing, it's going to lend to all audiences. And and whenever I start talking political, like actually talking verbally to the public, I always more so stay along on the fringe side of things, to where it's like the stuff that I'm just
going to be more radical than you.
Well, even the right is just like, no, that's a little crazy for me, because there's people that are saying, dude, are you even reading what you're posting? Because it's stupid.
Right.
The pictures that are getting posted, and the pictures that are getting posted are saying, look, it's the same person, and like their nose is completely different, hair color is different, and he's like, well, it's makeup. Okay, all righty.
Well, see what I'm going to do is try to round out, because is this the end of our week, or do we, or we should have a fiscal week?
This is episode 4, so no.
Well, so this week seems to have had a little bit of a movie theme.
Yeah.
You say, and in particular a Matrix theme.
Yes.
Right? So since the first episode of our show and the Matrix interruptions, I've now watched the Matrix trilogy through.
Nice.
At home. And last night finishing Revolutions. Mm-hmm. And I can honestly tell you with a straight face that I think Matrix Revolutions is one of the most beautiful movies I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I should go revisit the well?
Yeah, that movie is phenomenal. From start to finish, like the whole scene at the train station when he's talking to the family about just kind of, God, I don't even know where to begin.
You look like you're about to cry.
It's such a deep movie, and it like I felt like I learned so much about life and love and like why we're here by watching that movie.
Wow, man, you're getting all deep about Revolutions.
I'm sitting here. I'm like, I just need to like turn it on and start going through some stuff. But even like just from a conceptual representation of different things, I thought it was so cool how they. Like if you really look at Zion and their city and how it was put together, we think of our technology now, everything's gone digital, right? And it's all zeros and ones, and it's like done in this kind of crisp way. And if you look at Zion and the whole design that they did, just from the conceptual design of the movie, art direction, everything there seems to be very much based in analog technology, and it's based in like pneumatics and how those things work. And it's like I never got that before, and you can see like this total visual comparison between the Machine City and Zion in that, and I loved that, like it was showing how far you could kind of take steampunk, in a way, and so
it was like its own little version of steampunk,
Yeah, it was like steampunk to the max. Like beyond the Thunderdome.
Nice. Well, see, it's been a while since I've actually sat and watched Revolutions all the way through.
Yeah.
Normally I would watch the first one, get through like part of Reloaded, and just be done.
Yeah.
But again, I haven't watched it in years.
Like the fights make sense in Revolutions too, because the only fights Neo really does are when he's fighting Smith at the end, and from that standpoint, I can finally accept, like, okay, maybe he has to fight him because these are two equal opposing forces. They're the yin and they're the yang. And like that is just a battle of two equals. And what it comes down to is at the end, Neo's the one that realizes it's like, look, neither one of us can ever win. The only way to win this battle of this duality fighting against each other is to just submit to it. And, there will be some form of absolutism, and we will have a victor, but we have to join into one to find out what that's going to be.
See, I remember a big part of my issue with Revolutions when it first came out was there was so much hype that had been put in, fueled into it.
Well,
so
more for
much,
Reloaded, though, right?
Not even that. I mean, this was like Revolutions came out in 2003, maybe 2002, somewhere around there. I might be completely it's ballparking it, but I remember checking forums and reading up on it, and there was so much stuff that I was looking forward to based on the early reports that didn't make it into the movie.
Yeah.
And they're like, look, we have the technology to do it now. We're going to actually put it out there. And from a design standpoint of how the movie was actually put together, they were saying because Smith was mucking everything up and copying everybody, which I think the concept was by the end of Revolutions, he had copied himself onto everybody on the planet.
Basically, Smith had replicated. So Smith had taken the position that the only way, the only rule of the world was just kind of this inevitability of taking any cause and effect relationship, like the Merovingian speech, and just that you take that to its absolute end.
Right.
And that ultimately there is no individuality and so forth, and that just gets carried out into this one entity, and that the purpose of life itself was death.
Right.
That was the only purpose. And so his goal was, I will take over every single thing, and then we're done.
Well, see,
we finished our role because I will kill us.
Oh yeah, I will bring it. I will bring it to a screeching halt, almost like a virus, to where it just replicates enough to where it just seizes the entire system and it's done. Now, one of the early reports, a few of the early reports was that being that he wasn't only copying over humans or batteries, if you will, he was also copying over the different programs that were keeping the Matrix running, which would then start causing the Matrix to break down and start acting kind of crazy.
Well, because the Matrix itself was built upon the source code of the machine city. So the machines themselves they were built on the same code. So once he got into that, he could infiltrate the machine city code as well. And that was the point. So really the whole game that the Oracle was playing was that, okay, this is our 6th generation of the Matrix, right? We've destroyed Zion and we've rebuilt this and we've had choice every single time, but we can't continue this cycle. The only way we're going to continue is we really have to kind of take it to the next level. And so Neo really ultimately made the same choice to give himself over to end this virus.
Well, see, one of the early reports were that being that he was breaking things down, it would have ended up making normal life properties not work right. Like water would act like fire would act like water, and they were actually going to showcase that. There were pictures that were posted from the set that showed fire hydrants inside phone booths because things just started glitching, and they were supposed to play up heavily on that and show the breakdown of, and it was kind of metaphorical and everything, show the breakdown of society and whatnot.
Well, I mean, you can understand, because it's like once he infiltrated into a person as well when he was in Bane, it's kind of like, well,
what do you mean he infiltrated into Bane? Sorry, that was my old Bane voice from Dark Knight Rises.
Which, believe it or not, I have not seen.
You have not seen that yet?
I have not.
You're not missing much. And this is coming from a crazy Batman fan. You're not missing much.
Honestly, ever since the first promo shot of what's her name?
Anne Hathaway.
Hathaway on the
Bat Pod.
Yeah, I was like, eh.
Honestly, I would have to say that she was actually one of my favorite parts of that entire movie. And not just because Anne Hathaway is hot, but because she actually, in my opinion, was one of the better portrayals of Catwoman.
Yeah, she was in that movie with, was it Jake Gyllenhaal, where she just got completely naked, right?
Yes, like over and over again. And that was like, she spent her
I remember watching that movie and not knowing anything, and I was just like, holy crap, what did I just... Okay, we're leaving this on.
I'm really into the story. Stop.
This is an amazing story. Kids, leave.
No, she's supposedly, or not supposedly, she's like a really, really good actress. I mean, like really, really good. She has some really good acting chops. And from what I've heard about her taking Les Mis, the song that Susan Boyle on that British show, the I Dreamed a Dream, like the big song from Les Mis.
That song that I kept avoiding.
Okay, well, that's the song that her character in Les Mis sings, and apparently, I haven't seen it yet, but apparently they do just a single shot on her face, and she runs the gamut of all emotion, from happy, sad, grief, elation throughout the entire song, and they don't move away from her face for 4 minutes while she sings, and apparently it's phenomenal. And like they're like, if she doesn't get a nod, then it's obviously rigged, because she's only in the movie for like 15 minutes,
right?
And she steals the entire movie.
Yeah.
Another thing I heard about that movie is that Russell Crowe's in it, and he has like maybe 3 notes that he knows to sing, and it's just like he's like, I'm uncomfortable singing. It's like you can tell that he doesn't. He's the only one that does not fit in that movie.
Right.
But I'm not really big on movie ports of musicals.
No.
I've never.
Although
been.
I absolutely love the Muppets movie.
Muppets, I can do musicals with Muppets. I can do that. But I'm talking about like Broadway being brought from stage.
Yeah, but I mean,
to movie.
Truthfully, like the new Muppets movie's a little Broadway-ish in its music and so forth, but it's just brilliant.
I don't think, in my opinion, I don't think the Muppets can do wrong. I mean, they always have just the spot on,
especially when they
writing.
have Jermaine Clement writing the music.
Dude,
that
man.
guy is so funny.
And I love how they throw in just the right taste of adult humor into it.
Yeah.
And it's not even just like cheeky. It's not even crass that they throw in there. It's just the right pepper of. Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and actually on my iTunes, I have the Muppets Barbershop Quartet doing "Smells Like Teen Spirit."
Nice.
Me mo.
They one of our family traditions during Christmas is to watch the Muppet Family Christmas and the Muppet Christmas Carol.
Yeah.
Obviously I love the 2 old men, and their name escapes me right now. But them,
it's like the Muppets version of Trading Places.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's and
Mortimer and.
I can't remember. I can't remember off the top of my head. But
too bad we don't have internet so that we could look it up.
I'm not going to spend my time sitting here trying to pull up something on the internet while we're supposed to be podcasting, even though I do it every single time we're doing a show. But regardless, though, I think the Muppets have that's something that I grew up with, watching the Muppets, and it's kind of sad that you don't have regular Muppets or Fraggle Rock or things like that on broadcast now.
One of our family things, although I say that we didn't do it this year, was watch Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas.
That's good.
Yeah.
That is good. There was a lot of things actually that we didn't. I agree with you. There was a lot of things we didn't do this year that we normally do.
Nightmare Band.
Jumping back to Muppets for a second, the only version of Jingle Bell Rock that I can actually tolerate is Dr. Teeth, his version from the Muppet Christmas Carol or Christmas.
It
Christmas.
was not until I was a dad, and like in my late 20s or so, and I was watching Read Between the Lions with my kids. That I was able to remember the Peter Piper rhyme.
Wow, man! You just brought that back. I haven't seen Between the Lines in a long time.
Yeah. But it was because like they did their own little beat to it, so it was like Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, and I was like, I got it now.
It's like
all this time. Thank you, you stupid lions.
It's a lot. There's a lot of kid shows now. I mean, transcending away from the Wiggles and stuff like that, to where it's just kind of like, oh, look, we're just fluff.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Captain Feathersword. I don't want to smack him in his face. But you look at some of the other ones that they have, though, that are good entertainment even for adults. I mean, it's like if you just sit down, you're just like, okay, I can watch this. Like I'll say it's trippy.
My kids went through this whole like Zach and Cody thing, and to be honest, like I couldn't stand the show because my problem with a lot of the shows for kids these days, and truthfully a lot of entertainment out there, is it makes adult men look like complete bumbling idiots.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
And I think, going back to my serious note of I think that's one of the fundamental problems in our society. Like I think it would suck to grow up as a boy right now.
It's hard. It really is. Because I have 3 boys.
Yeah.
And, ranging, oldest one is 8, youngest one is 8 months.
Yeah.
And watching the stuff that he has available, we don't really do. And
and then if you actually act like a boy, then they want to put you on Ritalin or something and say that you've got an issue.
Or for a lot of the shows now, because how old's your son?
My son's 10.
All right, so when he was 8 years old, they had the Zack and Cody's and stuff. Now they have the majority of the shows like that are geared at girls.
Yeah.
They have like a show called, because my daughter, she's 9, she's big into that. So she's gonna be 10 next month. Holy crap! I just realized that. But
I've got a 14-year-old man.
Wow. They have shows like Jessie and Shake It Up, and it's all geared at girls. And then the little boys that are on the show are either conniving, they're the dumb brother, or they even had, and it made me so mad, dude. They had the little girl was in school, whatever, and she was asked to be a part of some computer club.
So here's the thing. What I want to put out there to like all 20 of our viewers.
Yes.
If you happen to be guys, if you're a guy, be a good role model for boys.
Yes, absolutely,
because they're getting limited.
There's not much out there for them,
Yeah.
And
although the reassuring thing, like what I see, and maybe I don't know if this is a southern thing where we live, but I don't think so, because it was when I lived in California, it was the same. Dads have gotten heavily involved in things like scouting now. And I know that like there's some people in the country that have issues with scouts because of different political things that I don't go into, but what I see is a lot of dads around the country have started taking a real interest in supporting their young boys.
Well, I think that there's a certain level of, as much as I love technology, there's times where I'm just like, no, just go outside. You don't need a game system. You don't need to sit in front of a laptop. You don't need
My kids had a blast this morning. So every day when I get home, I take the change out of my pocket and I just throw it in a jar, right, in my closet. And then I have another jar out in the living room, which is like where that gets dumped into. So it's a little bit bigger.
Right.
And today, I woke up this morning, I was like, you guys still aren't in school, and, Dad's been a little light in the wallet lately, so he hasn't given you an allowance. So here's the jar. I have no idea what's in it. You guys count it. Half of it goes in the big jar. The other half, you two split equally.
Nice.
There's your math problem for the day. and lo and behold, I shouldn't have done it because they each got $9.
Nice. But on the plus side, though, you're also like, that buys me about 30 minutes.
Now I can go shave.
Right? It's...
Which the viewers are missing because we don't have internet.
You actually, I just realized, man, you actually did shave.
Look at that.
Very nice.
My one time this year, it's all done.
That's you're only giving yourself one shot for shaving. Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed, but I don't follow many rules.
No, and being entrepreneurs and being, kind of running our own ship, we don't have to.
I feel like a hobbit today.
You are definitely rocking the no shoes.
I keep trying to push it on people that an important part of entrepreneurship is understanding that you don't have to follow societal rules.
Right.
So, granted, this is creating a rule, but I want to institute Flip-Flop Friday.
I like that.
Fridays, you don't have to impress anybody. If you actually are good at your job, nobody's going to fire you for wearing flip-flops.
I know a guy, I'm not going to call him out, but I know a guy that's been working for himself for probably about 8 or 9 years.
Yeah.
And, this guy has more money than I can ever think about right now at this stage. But he's extremely good at what he does. Yeah. And he works from home. And whenever it's like, sometimes he's like, yeah, man, haven't even changed yet, and he's like crazy scruff on his face, but the work he puts out is just pristine.
Yeah. I have worked with brilliant people in Silicon Valley that are just like neckbeard.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And the thing is, if you're good at your job and you don't have to go and actually go in front of clients all the time, you can afford that.
And honestly, eventually you hit the point where you can go in front of clients.
True.
Because they want what you have to offer.
Absolutely.
And quite honestly, who's really looking at my ugly mug anyway?
And this is going to go into the other show that I'm going to be doing here soon, Self-Made, about entrepreneurship. But there was there was a time where I would be, dressed to the nines, suit, tie, and always kept. I mean, I try to walk through looking like Lando Calrissian. You know, I mean, just straight up, always to the nines. And at one point, I was like, you know what? I know all of these people.
Yeah.
Why do I have to dress up like this? So one day I was like, and my wife was like, you're not putting on the suit. I was like, I'm not putting on the suit. I was like, I'm just going to go and I'm wearing flip-flops and I got my hoodie. And she's like, you sure? I'm like, yeah. I went to the office. They didn't even blink.
You know what I think is hilarious? If you look back at my own personal journey over the last year of trying to do this tech thing in Augusta, and you see the very first interview that I did on Channel 6 here in town, and it was like, ooh, the mystery man behind doing whatever. and it's like this video, I'm wearing my like sport coat, and I'm shaved, and I'm doing all this. And it was
Poindexter.
Like, yeah, and like that was a thing for me. Like I remember going through the process early on, and I was like, why am I pretending to be someone I'm not? Why don't I just be who I am? Because I'm saying the same thing, and honestly, I got better at saying it when I decided to be comfortable with myself.
Dude, I totally get that. I mean, I remember the first time I did a broadcast for Augusta's Choice. I was in my office at the house. I mean, I wasn't dressed up or anything, but it was very staccato. It was very kind of reserved, and there was a lot of because I was just by myself. I wasn't interviewing anybody. I mean, I had some people call in, but it was still just like, okay, so I'm here, and we're just gonna talk and stuff and things. It was just really reserved. But now it's just like, look, I've been doing this for over a year now, and it's again, people. The reason why people listen to the shows that we do and the stuff that I put out is because they think that I have something good to say.
Right.
So if they like talking to me face to face,
it's actually just me clicking over and over. I'm all your views.
You're all my views. I have none of you exist. None of you are viewers. Eric, thanks for listening like 75 times.
Yeah.
Dude,
I love this show. This is my favorite show.
Nice. You're like, I'm going to go to your house and there's going to be like 3 computer screens with my face on it.
I was going to say it's going to look like in Seven when they go into
man.
But it's all going to be pictures of myself.
We could do a whole podcast on that movie Seven, dude. That movie trips me out.
What's in the box?
Yeah, what's in the box? Hey, John Doe's got the other hand. Hey, he's got the other hand. That was good, man. That one
almost as good as Dick in a Box, right?
Then you open the box, stick the junk in that box. But in that case, spoilers, it was Gwyneth Paltrow's head. So on that note, talking about Gwyneth Paltrow's head in a box,
You ruined that movie.
Huh?
You just ruined that movie.
Dude, that's just like saying, all right, you know what? We're going to go through a bunch of spoilers, okay?
Yeah, let's start naming movies and let's give spoilers.
Sixth Sense.
Sixth Sense, he's dead.
Fight Club.
Fight Club, 2 personalities.
7.
7? Huh? I thought we already did 7.
I'm just recapping.
Gwyneth Paltrow's in a box.
She's just in a box.
It's not her box in the box, though.
It's not
that would be like some little Russian doll.
Oh, man.
I wonder, could you fit Gwyneth Paltrow? How big of a box would you need for that?
Oh, okay. Wow.
Could you do it in the flat rate shipping container?
Wow, that just took a really, really odd turn. I was not expecting that. But now I'm trying to think of another movie that had a twist ending that could be spoiled.
To hell with it.
Yeah, whatever. Okay, well,
we're got nothing.
Tomorrow night, which is going to be episode 5, we will be broadcasting live. I will have a dedicated connection.
Tear to me, eye.
And
flat rate shipping box with Gwyneth Paltrow's box in it. I'm sorry, Gwyneth.
Yeah, like you're ever going to meet her.
Well, you have to apologize in case.
Okay, yeah. We're supposed to be ending the show, but really quick. talking about another movie where she got top billing, but she was only in it for. I mean, I know she was key to the story, but did you see Contagion?
No.
You didn't see It was. I was actually surprised. It was a a movie about a pandemic, but it was.
Is this
just,
Nicole Kidman or?
Oh no! I think
the lookalike Nicole Kidman.
No. It's what's her name? Kate Winslet. She's in it.
Okay.
And which again, weird news. She just got married to. Kate Winslet just got married to Sir Richard Branson's nephew.
I thought you were going to say Marilyn Manson for a second.
No, but the reason why it's weird is why Marilyn Manson? Because he hasn't been relevant in like at least 8 years.
We'll talk about Marilyn Manson on another show.
Yeah, but oddly, the reason why it's weird to me that
not about relevance.
There's like no relevance to that. And I don't even know why we're talking about Kate Winslet.
I have no idea. I'm sure we've gone over time.
Oh, way over time. It doesn't matter because this is my show.
We're splitting this up into two.
No, we're not. This is a 40-minute long extended version.
This is the extravaganza, and then we're going to tap on the broken video from the.
Yeah, it was a mess earlier, but we will go ahead and end the show now. We'll see you guys tomorrow night, and if you guys want to join, circle up on Google Plus with Chronicle365 TV, and you're more than welcome to join in on the show. We would love to have you on, and we will talk to you guys tomorrow.